RPVtv presents Studio RPV, the Peninsula's local news show with co-hosts Maria Serrao and Liz Brown Swanson.
Hello, and thanks for joining us today on Studio RPV. I'm Maria Serrao.
And I'm Liz Brown Swanson. Happy June.
Happy June. So much to get to. We have an action-packed show, that's for sure. And some very, very special guests who are coming in, and some of them are outside. So it's going to be really a fun show.
We have some four-legged friends to share with you. They do very important work.
They're so cute. Oh
yes,
my gosh, so cute. This is also Pride Month, Liz, and you and I had a chance to go to our local library where they always have great events going on, and they had a Pride event, which was a lot of fun.
Yes, as always, the library, the Friends of the Library, every month actually, they put on, it's called Celebrating Our Similarities, and I love that part. Mm-hmm. And they have wonderful programs. Of course, for June, this was their second annual Pride Month event, featuring a whole host of people from our community, talking about their experiences, and now we're going to share them with you.
And we are doing this Pride celebration here, the first weekend in June, to celebrate Pride Month. We're so thankful for the West Basin Municipal Water District for being a sponsor here. We here at the Friends of the Library embrace and welcome all of our community. We want to make sure that everybody feels welcome, understood, safe, create a safe space. Come to learn, come to understand, come to feel like you can be a part of a bigger community. And so we're so thankful for all these people who stepped up and just brought their music, their poetry, their art. There's opera going on right now. It's amazing.
West Basin is proud to be a sponsor today for the Peninsula Friends of the Library Pride event. I think it's so important that we showcase pride and welcoming spaces in the Palos Verdes Peninsula. And again, we are really, really delighted to be a part of this today. My message will be partly my personal story about running for office, about serving in office as an openly gay elected official, and that discrimination I went through along the way, and yet at the same time being resilient and being a great representative of our community.
I decided to sing the song Pink Pony Club, and it's kind of all about just accepting who you are and just really being yourself, embracing yourself, and that's kind of the message that Pride is all about too, so it fit perfectly.
I have a trans son who came out almost 10 years ago, and at that time I went looking for support, for just people to share their stories with me, to provide guidance and mentorship and education, and we really didn't have any resources for that here in the South Bay, but I was very lucky to meet a group of women who all had trans kids, all lived here locally, and we became each other's support system and lifeline. We found PFLAG, Manhattan Beach South Bay, is a local chapter of the national organization of PFLAG. We're the oldest national LGBTQ plus organization in the country. And we support, we educate, we advocate on behalf of the LGBTQ plus community and their families.
We do a lot of things, from working with people on a really hard day in their life at Green Hills Memorial Park and Coastal Funeral Center. I also am on Torrance City Council, but today I'm here as a mom, a grandma, a friend.
Tell us about your book and your message now during Pride Month.
Thank you. So the book is about my bird, Rainbow Kalani, and she just makes people happy everywhere she goes. But I think the message of this book is so appropriate for this month because it talks about, it starts with her looking in the mirror at herself and feeling beautiful, and it goes on to talk about even though her feathers are green and yellow and orange and white, they make her comfortable. And that even on days that are challenging, you can just find a friend, smile, hug them, and your day will be great.
Come out here, come be a part of the Friends of the Library, pvldfriends.org, pvldfriends.org. Come and be a part of our community. Find out what we do. We do these cultural programs every month. We celebrate all different kinds of cultures. So thank you so much for giving us this time to be with you.
that was a lot of fun, Liz. And also this month, the Dodgers and the Angels will have Pride Night. So check the listings, get a ticket, go out there and have some fun at the ballpark.
Have a ball. And so, yeah, just look it up. There's so much going on in June for sure. You know, it's like graduation time.
Yeah.
And this is just my favorite time of year because we're getting ready for summer.
Yes, summer is always good. Summer is good. So, all right, we will be right back with our very special guest, so don't go away.
When you're driving and you need to use your phone, pull over, RPV. When drivers are distracted, driving can be dangerous.
In 1 second, your whole life can change. Make the choice that will save your life and the life of someone else.
If you need to make a call or send a text, pull over to a safe spot. You'll be glad you did.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Alameda Sheriff Station and RPVtv.
And joining us on set, our very special guests, Michael and Aaron Choi from the Fire Grazers, the Goat Guys, also known as the Goat Guys. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
We had a chance to visit with some of the goats outside before the segment, and they're so cute, and we were asking so many questions because there's so much stuff we want to know. So let's just start off with, how long have you been doing this, and how did you get into being the Goat Guys?
So it's been about 16 years. I mean, we were still in high school at the time.
Okay.
And it was really our dad, Mark Choi, who was running things at the time. We decided, you know, we wanted to get into something where we could live on a farm, grow our own food, you know, have our own business, and we discovered the goats. Now we can do this. So that the goats and that whole business model, it helped us in that transition to the countryside.
Very nice.
We certainly appreciate the work you do in our city as, you know, residents driving around the peninsula too. We just see these goats out, but they're doing really important work. We are in a high fire hazard severity zone. We all know that. And your goats are doing fuel modification, helping to protect us and the homeowners here, keeping us safe. So we really appreciate your work. So with that, you know, you've been working with the city for 15 years, contracting. Tell us a little bit about the operation. For example, was yesterday I went out to McBride Trail. You have a herd there. They're working with the Land Conservancy. But in general, talk about where you go around the city and how much brush you're, you know, clearing.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got several sites in the city, probably like, I don't know, 40, 50 sites throughout the whole city of RPV. We generally, we show up in around April, early April, and we're just jumping from job site to job site. and it's a game of like keeping up with making one fence, taking down the old one, and setting up a new one. We bring out like 3 herds, right? Yeah, 3 herds is like 3 herds typically.
And how many are in a herd, so we know?
300, around, give or take 300.
How do you transport them?
I mean, we got trailers.
Big trailers.
Yeah, pretty big trailers. I mean, you might have seen it as we drove through. Yeah, we got big trailers and big trucks, and you know,
multiple trips.
Okay,
it takes a lot of trips. That's for sure.
Yes.
And it's fun that your brothers working together.
Yes.
And talk about the challenges though that you faced out there, you know, and dealing with the terrain of Rancho Palos Verdes when you're out there.
Well, you know, one thing is that people typically hire goats when it's too difficult to do everything else, right? So we wind up with the cliff sides, canyons, and things like that a lot of the time. But in general, the goats themselves are great mountaineers. They know how to scale the hillside. They're really good at what they do, and they're very hungry.
Yeah, as we saw outside.
Yeah.
They like to just get out there and, you know, eat what's ever in front of them. It's pretty cool.
We love that you bring the goats out and do community events to meet the goats. I know you did one recently at the Kids to Parks Day. I'm just curious, when, you know, people talk to you, you share a lot of fun goat facts and information. What do you like to talk about with the community so they understand better about what you do and goat behavior?
Well, one thing that I like to say when, you know, people ask about goats and stuff, they say, so they just eat? Is that really what they do? And they're, oh yeah, they sleep too. And then I point out to the goats, and sometimes when they're sitting, you think they're relaxing, but they're chewing. And you're like, what are they chewing, right? So what they do is they bring it up, chew it again, and bring it down. So even when they're sitting, they're eating.
Wow.
They really do eat most of the day.
Yeah.
And then we were asking you as well, how do they know what they shouldn't eat?
I mean, I'm not sure how, but I do know that like when it comes to things like oleander, which is poisonous, they just don't even touch it. So,
interesting.
Yeah,
they know, we want them to get all those non-natives. And we talked a little bit earlier because not only are they out there grazing, but they're really, they're improving the environment, the way they operate. Like you're saying, the soil is better. Speak to that, because there's that environmental benefit of using goats to do our, fuel modification.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these areas, the very first year I remember we went out here, it was just mustard. It was like 8 foot tall. You couldn't even walk through it mustard, like crazy. That's part of why we were hired, is because it was so difficult to get in there. To even walk in there, it was impossible. And it's just mustard. You look at the ground, nothing else is growing. But we bring the goats in every year on these sites. And every year they knock it down, they eat it up, they poop, they stomp it, right? They do the goat thing on the ground, right? And well, nature would have it that has a tremendously beneficial effect on the soil and the plants that grow back. And that helps the bugs and the birds, and it affects the entire ecosystem. And
almost like built-in fertilizer then.
Exactly.
Right? Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, and the biodiversity of all the plants that come back. It's not just mustard anymore. You see other things growing in between. And we work with the Conservancy in order to take out the invasives like mustard, star thistle, fennel, all those problems, and they even trim down on acacia as well. And then the Conservancy comes in right after us, and they set up their little drip lines. They plant native plants. And there's plenty of places throughout the whole peninsula where the Conservancy's been able to replant and bring back the natives, while at the same time taking out the invasives using the goats. So.
Now, you do a lot of jobs here in the city, but you're based in Central California. How do people know about you? How do they find you?
I mean, I think it's mostly just word of mouth, like just, I guess the reputation, the idea, the novelty of the goats is what spreads. People hear, oh, wow, there's goats in Los Angeles.
Yeah. That's what I thought when I first saw them. I'm like, where are those?
They're the goat two brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good.
I know, I had to say it.
And we talked about the goatee. I'm like, did that come from goats? Maybe it did.
Because Michael, you told me, I think, back at one of our Meet the Goat events that I was at, and I was interviewing you in the past, and you said, like, goat facts I was bringing up earlier, that it's the female that has the beard.
The goatee.
That's how you know.
Well, the females have them. The males have them too. Like, they all have them. Like, it's a universal. Yeah. Goats just have goatees, and goats all have horns, which some people might not know, right? Like, you'd think only the males do. No, they all have horns.
Interesting. Yeah. And then tell us about the dogs, because I know that last year we met some adorable. They were puppies. Oh my gosh, they were so cute. Yeah.
The herding dogs.
Yeah.
They're a big part of your operation.
They are.
They keep your goats in line.
How many do we have?
Last year we had a litter of 7 guard dog puppies, and they were so, like you said, they started really small.
Oh my gosh, they were just little butterballs.
Yeah, you want to put them in the herd, as young as possible, so that they can,
young.
They can get used to it, get the instincts growing and going. So yeah, we had 7 puppies, and then we realized, oh my gosh, all at once. We have 7 puppies, and we already had like 5 or 6 guard dogs already. So now we're up to like 13 or so guard dogs.
Right.
Wow.
And they're big dogs. So we go through a lot of dog food.
I was going to say, they don't eat the same thing as the goats. So.
And your family's about to get bigger, because you were saying that the herd right now of 1,000 are about to have 400 babies, maybe as many as 400.
Potentially, yeah.
New team members over there coming your way.
Oh, yeah.
You're ready for it, because your operation over 15 years now, you said, has really grown.
Yeah.
And it seems to be exponential. Like, the more goats you have, the more goats you will have. Next kidding season, right?
No kidding around, right?
We're getting there.
Here we go. Now we're starting.
Give it another 3 months. There'll be plenty kidding.
We know we're going to end with back to you in the studio.
Yeah, of course. Now, when you have the goats out, where do you guys stay? Like, how do you keep an eye on them?
Well, we're kind of, what I like to say is that we're like modern nomads. Like, we We live in trailers and we move around with the herd of animals throughout the entire city and several cities. So wherever the goats go, someone needs to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So someone needs to live with them and watch them and feed the dogs and take care of everything. So that's where we are. We're where the goats are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously weather would be a factor, right? Like not when it's raining and maybe a cold season, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, during the winter we bring them back home.
Okay.
We have them, up in Mariposa is where we live, and around the area. We also have sites in Bakersfield where, and in the winter it's different because you're not really grazing for fires. You're just feeding them, keeping them healthy. You know, because it's cold and wet, and you want to make sure that they're healthy through the winter. That's the challenge in that season. Yeah.
So, you know, Father's Day is around the corner. Your dad is the one that trained you in this. You know, what were some of the teaching moments for him that you really appreciate that your dad passed on to the two of you?
I would say one of the most important things when it comes to business is the ownership mentality. That you can't think like an employee, like you're just working for something greater than you. You need to see yourself as one of the owners of what you work on, even when it's not yours. Like even when you're working using someone else's tools, think of it like you own that and you need to take care of that and apply that to everything that you're doing. You know, especially in business, right? When you work on someone else's property, treat it like it's your property, right? Not like it's someone else's and you can just do whatever you want to it, right? And that's how I feel about Palos Verdes. Palos Verdes feels like my city, right? It feels like my home. So I want to take care of it like it's my home, right? And I found that principle applied to everything makes your work ethic better, and it makes your relationships better too. It really aids in almost everything that you do.
How about for you, Ernie? I think your father passed on to you that you think special that you want to pass on.
Well, I'm fortunate. You know, I know that I was in a fortunate position. Coming into high school, I didn't have to, you know, I saw all my other peers thinking, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You know, what my father gave to me was, I feel like was legacy, you know. This is something that I can 10 toes down. This is what we're doing.
That's what you're doing.
And, you know, as a holistic thing, you know, this is a business that I feel we can do with a clean conscience.
Of course, you're doing so much to help the community.
So much to help the community.
And it's just win-win and everything. And think of all that, you know, you get to hang out around Rancho Palos Verdes with the most beautiful views. As I was saying, I went out,
horrible, right?
you know, Michael sent me to the McBride Trail to go catch up with 600 goats, and I thought, this is just heaven, just walking along this coastline and taking it all in, and that's what you do every day.
Right.
It's so fun. And do you guys have a website?
Yeah, it's goatsrock.com.
Goats Rock, I love that.
Well, we've had so much fun with you here in the studio, but before we wrap this up, anything you want to add about what you love about the work you do?
I would say one of the things I really love about this work, one of my favorite things about doing this job is being able to go out and just see the joy that it brings to people. When you're out there and you see the people standing along the fence, just smiling and talking and taking pictures and bringing their kids every day, and that connection that we can be a conduit for, you know, like we can bring these animals and have the people come out and just be happy.
Wouldn't it be amazing though to have a job that what you did all day long was just eat and you stayed fit still?
Yeah. That would be awesome, actually.
That would be the go-to job.
That's the go-to job, for sure. We could do this all day.
We really appreciate all you're doing for our community, and we're going to have you back and meet your growing herd too. So
bring the dog next time.
Sure thing.
All right, Marie, I'll let you wrap it up.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Distracted driving and distracted walking causes over 7,000 deaths a year and over 500,000 injuries. Don't let one bad decision change your life. Heads up, RPV. Make a better choice. Keep your eyes on the road and on the street. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Lomita Sheriff Station and RPVtv.
We are back, and Liz, we talk about fire safety on the Hill so much, but in case of a fire, we're also an equestrian community, so we have to think about the horses because you always see during a fire people trying to get the animals out. And I know there was an event recently that all 4 cities worked on.
Yes, the all 4 Peninsula cities put together the first ever equine safety first aid event at Ernie Howlett Park. It was a big success back in May, bringing the equestrian community together. Veterinarians were there, obviously horse owners, the Sheriff's Department brought in their posse, just to continually look at what do we do in the event of fire? How do you evacuate your horse? And of course, RPVtv, we could not be at that event. However, our emergency preparedness coordinator, Luna Mohammed, sent us some video and photos from the day so that we can share some great safety tips that might benefit you if you have a horse. All 4 Peninsula cities, Rancho Palos Verdes, Palos Verdes Estates, Rolling Hills, and Rolling Hills Estates, teamed up to host the inaugural Equine First Aid Essentials event at Ernie Howlett Park in Rolling Hills Estates. The May 3rd gathering was well attended by members of the local equestrian community, where attendees received valuable hands-on training from large animal veterinarians.
Everybody should have a stethoscope.
Doctors reviewed essential first aid kit items and addressed serious equine health conditions like colic. LA County Sheriff's Mounted Posse performed safety demonstrations, and the county's equine response team shared wildfire evacuation preparedness tips.
Anna Bonnie, and I'm newer to the Lomita Sheriff's Posse, and we just wanted to give you a little demonstration today when you're out riding on trails, how to be safe with cars going by. When you get next to vehicles, you want to have at least a horse's length. If you think about how long my horse is, if he turned to kick, I want to be far enough away that my horse can't actually hit that car if he turns to kick.
We have some wonderful vendors here today. We appreciate all of you participating.
Each of the 4 Peninsula cities provided equine preparedness materials. The LA County Fire Department distributed emergency resources. Additional participants included the Palos Verdes Estates Police Department, the PVP Horsemen's Association, Portuguese Bend Pony Club, Animal Care and Control, Lomita Feed Store, and the new business Cheeky Horse. Organizers called the event a big success and hope to bring the community back together next year for more education and equine readiness.
Biggest thing is prepare. Your animals need the same things you do.
That was a very successful event, and they're working on planning it for next year, so stay tuned for that. And
hopefully we'll be
so
there next
important. You know, as I mentioned, the equine event was last month in May. May was also Mental Health Awareness Month, but we should be thinking about mental health awareness every day of the year, right?
Yes.
And there's a woman who's on the board of directors for Community Helpline. She was honored by our RPV City Council for all she's doing in this area to help people in crisis. And we had the chance to interview her before she got honored. She shares all the details about Community Helpline, which has been serving our community since 1971.
Hi, I'm Catherine Stutzinger, and I'm a board member now at Community Helpline. I've been with the organization for about 12 years, and we are super excited to be honored tonight. We love being able to bring the awareness of what we do to the community, and that we've been doing it since 1971. So Community Helpline is a crisis and support hotline. We are open from 8 to 8, 365 days a year. We are almost all volunteer run. We've got, I think, one paid staff member really that's working 32 hours a week and a few little side things. Yeah, we take all kinds of calls from mostly the state of California, but we get calls nationwide actually because we have a 1-800 number. People find us online. And we're a lifeline of hope. We consider ourselves a place people can call and talk about whatever they want to talk about. We deal with everything from suicide on down. And most of our volunteers are high school and college age students. And so it's very empowering for them to come in and see what a difference they can make in people's lives just by being there for their fellow human beings. We have 3 trainings a year to prepare people for taking calls on the lines. And yeah, I think we have probably 60 active volunteers, I would say, at this point. The number for people to call Community Helpline is 1-877-541-2525. You can call 365 days a year, 8 in the morning till 8 at night. Go to our website at chelpline.org and find out all the information if you'd like to get involved. Of course, we're always needing financial donations. We also need volunteers, and we have 3 trainings a year, and all the information is online, and you can also reach out and call us and talk to us about it.
And you know, Liz, one of the huge stress relievers for people are animals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether it was the goats we saw or the horses, but you know, dogs, especially, and cats are wonderful to have.
They are.
You know, obviously we know about emotional support animals are out there, but also San Pedro Pet Pals, an amazing organization in our community that is helping our community with dogs that need fostering and adoption, and they were honored once again by our RPV City Council. Congratulations to San Pedro Pet Pals for all the great work they do, and we partner with them in our city because we do every month at Eastview Park. There are dog adoptions, they do animal adoptions, and I know you've done a lot of work with them too because of the founder, Teresa, is amazing.
They were one of our very first guests on Studio RPV.
Yes, San Pedro Pet Pals was.
Yes,
and
I love that.
I have to say, they brought 2 dogs this time. I think the last time they were honored, they had almost everybody on their team brought a dog, and so
I don't know how people can leave without taking a pet home.
Yes, they're so adorable.
They're so cute.
So go onto their website too,
Yes.
San Pedro Pet Pals, to find more about the organization, and get yourself over to Eastview Park the first Sunday and take yourself home a furry friend.
Yes.
I know I need it. I want a puppy.
Home today.
I know.
Oh my gosh. All right. Before we go, we have to talk about the biggest party on the hill, and that is our 4th of July celebration, Liz.
It is incredible. It gets bigger and better every year, and
It's amazing.
I've lived in this city now since 1992, and I'm sad to say I've only got to go to one because I go to Boston
I know,
for the
but
4th of July, but I'm here in spirit, so you're always there. What do you love about that?
Well, I mean, so many things. First of all, the newly added drone show is amazing. So people are there from literally 10 in the morning until, gosh, like dark, like 9 or 10 at night. So it's an all-day affair. We do it right here at the Kendida Civic Center, and there's great food, there's music, and lo and behold, the best pie eating contest you will ever have anywhere, as our mayor defends his belt. And it is a big deal, Liz.
Yeah.
It is a big deal.
So I'm curious, do you hear anything about, so the mayor, for people that have seen this in the past, so Mayor Bradley, when he was mayor pro tem and a council member, was pretty much, he could not beat our former mayor, John Cruikshank, but I think last year, he finally did it, right? So he's defending his belt, like you said.
Yeah, he's defending the belt. Now, we're not sure if Steve Pearstand, councilman, is going to be the challenger.
I didn't know if the former mayor was coming back.
I'm not sure if it's a former mayor. We don't know yet. It's going to be a mystery. But I have to tell you, last year, the crowd was huge. I'm like, wow.
And what kind of pie are they eating?
They're eating, I think it's like some kind of like a banana cream or just a cream pie. It looks great, actually.
Yeah, I'd be voting for blueberry, but you know, that would really.
Yeah, that would be messy. But then the kids do it, and it's just a huge crowd now. Like, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
so they've created this whole pie eating contest.
Yes,
so
we love bringing our community together. It's
Yes.
the biggest party on the hill.
It's so fun.
And also biggest patriotic party and all of that.
Happy birthday, America.
Yes.
That's right.
Well, thank you
All
so
right.
much for doing this today,
You
Maria.
too, Liz. Yeah, remember, 4th of July, Kendida Civic Center. Come out and hang out with us on the 4th of July. That will do it for today's show. I'm Maria Serrao.
I'm Liz Brown Swanson. Have a great time out there.